Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome you to the Auto Club Speedway here in Fontana, California. Today we'll be seeing NASCAR Xfinity Series qualifying as we will set the grid for the DriveForClots.com 300, race number 5 of 35 in the 2016 NASCAR Xfinity Series season. I'm Rick Burton here in the broadcast booth here to give you full coverage of qualifying. This weekend we had a total of 41 entries for this weekend's race. Only 40 will make the show. And that means one team, one driver will have to make the long trip home as they will not make the show. So now we will have 2 rounds of qualifying. This is how this will all go down. Round number 1 will be a 15-minute session with all 41 cars on track with unlimited track time, meaning they can complete as much laps as they want. The fastest 12 drivers will advance into the next round, and 13th on back will be set, and we will also determine which driver and team will go home. Round number 2 will be a 5-minute session with only the top 12, and then the quickest of the top 12 will win the pole. Second will start second, and so on. So that is how this will go down. The clock is already running. 2 minutes have already passed, and the first driver to take a time is the number 4 of Ross Chastain. On track now, the Johnny Davis Motorsports entry. Behind him, the number 1 of James Buescher. Driving the 20 this weekend is Carl Edwards for Joe Gibbs Racing. He'll be making his Xfinity Joe Gibbs debut, as he's not competed in this series since his days at Roush Fenway. Carl Edwards, he'll be a factor on Saturday. Ryan Ellis, one of our go-and-go homers, crashed early at Phoenix. Las Vegas. 44 of David Starr. 98 of Ryan Truex. On track now, the 43 of Elliott Sadler, making his second start 2016 in the Richard Petty Motorsports number 43. Daniel Suarez, one of the fastest guys in practice. On track now, Ryan Reed and Cole Witt. Cole Custer on track. Brian Scott, the 22 Joey Logano. Right now, he is currently the quickest at a 37.653 for Joey Logano. The 92 Mario Gosselin, another go-go homer. Same with the 15 of Justin Jennings. Driving for Rick Ware Racing this weekend. Rookie Brendan Jones behind Jennings. Mike Harmon, Brendan Gaughan, Jed Burton, Justin Allgaier. A rare appearance in the series for Justin Allgaier, as he just jumped up to second quickest with that lap, a 37.608. Allgaier he's not raced in this series since 2013 at Homestead. He's spent the last 2 years at H. Scott Motorsports in the Cup Series, and he's now in his 3rd year in that number 51 Brent Chevrolet. And this weekend he will jump into the number 42 Brent Chevrolet, as he will be in this car for 7 races in this season, beginning right here at California. Morgan Shepherd, 30th quickest. Ryan Sieg, 23rd. And here is your championship point leader, Ty Dillon, currently 10th quickest, not far from getting knocked out the top 12, as right when it said that he's been bumped to 11th. Ty Dillon got to grab the point lead after Eric Jones got crashed at Phoenix last weekend. On track, the number 0 of Michael Self, one of our Rookie of the Year contenders, along with another rookie, the 90 of Tyler Young. And speaking of Eric Jones, here's the number 11 Freightliner Toyota. Jones right now 14th on lap number 1, making his way out of turn number 4. Jones got wrecked by his teammate Daniel Suarez late in the race at Phoenix International Raceway, as Jones up to second quickest on that lap. Jones ended up finishing 39th, one of the 2 drivers who failed to finish the race, and Eric dropped all the way down to 5th in points after leading the points since Atlanta. Chris Buescher, defending champion, right now 5th quickest. The 25 of John West Townley, 15th. This 25 car was fast in practice. This team has found a little bit of speed this weekend. Chastain, Blake Cook, and now quickest at a 37.185, given to Casey Kane in that 88 car. The Great Clip Chevrolet for Virginia Motorsports. Behind him, Kane's rookie teammate Josh Berry, right now 7th quickest. Carl Edwards is 10th. There's the 2014 ARCA champion Mason Mitchell making his Xfinity debut for Baker Racing. Mason Mitchell. Darrell Wallace Jr., currently 9th quickest in that number 6. Derek Cope, 36, in the number 70. Jeremy Clements, Mason Mingus, David Starr, Joey Gase on track. And here's a 14. One of the last cars we have to talk about. TriStar Motorsports announced prior to this weekend that they have parted ways with former driver Kel Conley. Kel Conley has left TriStar, and the 14 this weekend is being driven by J.J. Yaley. So Yaley is now in the 14 this weekend with no sponsorship on board. And you can even tell they still have the rookie stripes in the back of that number 14. Yaley, not a rookie. He competed full-time last year for JGL Racing. In fact, his ride from last year is this car right behind him, the 28 of Cole Witt. And Witt is 21st. Cole Custer 14th. Logano 2nd. And now to the top of the chart goes the 33 of Brian Scott. He's never been to victory lane before, and he's been in the series full time since 2009. Changed that 2010, and Scott moved up to the Cup Series this year. There's the 13 of Carl Long and the 40 of Derek White, and I think we've been through most of the drivers in the field. So now what we're going to look at is the drivers who must qualify on time. And right now there is one driver who we've not looked at, and right now that driver is not in the show right now unless he can find some speed. That is the 37 of Chris Cockrum. Chris Cockrum driving for Deese Racing. He's number 37 right now. He's over 8 tenths off from the 40th place. He's ran 6 laps now, going back out on track to see if he can find a little bit more speed. He can get this number 37 Deese Racing Chevrolet in the show. Right now 41st. And should Chris Cockrum lock himself a spot in the field, right now it appears that it would bump out the 92 of Mario Goslin. Morgan Shepherd 39th, Carl Long, Justin Jennings, Derek Cope, then Derek White, Joey Gase, and the 74 Mike Harmon. We have just under 7 minutes remain in session number 1. Right now, Brian Scott is the quickest at a 37.114. Joey Logano, Casey Kane, Eric Jones, and Daniel Suarez. Chris Buescher, Josh Berry, Carl Edwards, James Buescher, Darrell Wallace just jumped up to 6 with that lap. Elliott Sadler and the 00 of Cole Custer. That is your top 12 right now. On the outside looking in, Ryan Truex, Ty Dillon 18th. And that number 3, Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet. Ryan Reed is 14th. Brennan Jones, Justin Allgaier. John West Townley, Ty Dillon, Ross Chastain, and Dillon's teammate Brendan Gaughan. Only 20th quickest. And then you got Cole Witt, Mingus, Ryan Sieg, Blake Cook, and Clements, Yaley, Burton, Michael Self, David Starr, and Mason Mitchell. That is your top 30. Here's your quickest guy right now, Brian Scott. Rookie of the Year contender Brandon Jones, replacing Brian Scott in 2016. The number 2 Menard Chevrolet. They have tied on board this weekend. We are back live here at Auto Club Speedway. We're going to qualify for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. DriveClots.com 300. We are in round number 1 right now. We are under 3 minutes remain in this session. When we were away, there were a few changes inside the top 12. First one involving the double zero of Cole Custer. Cole Custer was knocked out the top 12 and bumped to 13th as the 98 of Ryan Truex. Ryan Truex, the 98 Biaggi team. There he is, the 98 of Ryan Truex, now 12th quickest, and he would be the last driver to advance into the final round of qualifying and run for the pole should things stay the same. And also, he was the only guy who jumped inside the top 12, but there was a new guy jumping to the top of the chart, the number 11 of Eric Jones. Here's Eric Jones, won the pole here 1 year ago for Joe Gibbs Racing. And right now, Eric Jones is right now quickest at a 37.101. He leads Cup drivers Brian Scott, Joey Logano, Casey Kane, and then Xfinity regular Darrell Wallace Jr. at the top of the chart. And then you got Daniel Suarez, Chris Buescher, Josh Berry, Carl Edwards, and James Buescher top 10. And then you got Elliott Sadler and Ryan Truex running out your top 12. So we have about a good, maybe, with 1 minute remaining, we have about 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 Fords inside the top 12. Made that 6 with the 22 Logano. So right now, Fords are pretty strong this weekend. We have two Rouse Fords inside the top 12. And then you add the Richard Petty Motorsports car of Elliott Sadler, a Biaggi number 98 of Ryan Truex, and then you got the 22 of Logano. And we are under 1 minute remain here in qualifying. Mario Gosling, 40th quickest. He would be the last guy to make the race. And this 92 car has yet to qualify for a race in 2016. Gosling failed to qualify at Daytona, Atlanta, and Las Vegas in this 92 car. And this team also failed to qualify last weekend with Martin Roy behind the wheel at Phoenix. Right now, 9 seconds, 8, 7. And that will wrap up qualifying. Qualifying is over, and Eric Jones, he is the quickest in round number 1, and he will lead the drivers into round number 2 with the quickest lap time. And the driver who will go home will be that number 37 of Chris Cockrum. He does not qualify for the JoffClots.com 300. And the last driver to advance, the 98 of Ryan Truex. That is all for round number 1. We will take a break, and we'll be back with round number 2 right after this. Welcome back here to Auto Club Speedway. We are just wrapped up round number 1, and now we'll be getting ready for round number 2, the final round of qualifying for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Before we go any further, let's look at the times. The drivers who failed to advance in round number 2, being led by the double zero of rookie Cole Custer, Ryan Reed, and Brandon Jones, top 15. Quite the biggest surprise though, 18th place, Ty Dillon. Your point leader fails to advance in round number 2. Ryan Reed second in points, and at number 16 he also does not make the final round. The first guy on track is this guy right here, the number 11 of rookie Eric Jones. Quickest in round number 1 and trying to pick up where he left off. On top of the speed board, the guy who won the pole here 1 year ago. 1 year ago he was driving the 20, being driven by that guy right there, Carl Edwards. On track now, or not coming on track now, the 22 of Joey Logano. Now Jones will be the first driver to put down a lap, and the first lap will be a 37.863. That is now the lap everybody is shooting for. Ryan Truex, 98, just taking the green flag now. The number 1 of James Buescher, 38.161. Casey Kane, 37.887. Chris Buescher, 38.087. Elliott Sadler, he just took the green flag by Darrell Wallace, 37.887. Logano on track now. Eric Jones just picked it up to a 37.534. And a big question is, with not a lot of cars on track, well, only 12 cars are on track, no slower cars will get in the way, unless Edwards will do what he's doing right now to Logano. But really, nobody should be getting in the way of anybody, really, because there's plenty of space on the track. As Darrell Wallace has just went to the top of the board, a 37.424. But anyway, as I was saying, is drafting gonna come into play? We're seeing it right now with Darrell Wallace and Elliott Sadler, and they're already under 2 minutes. And Jones second on that lap. So far, 3 of the 4 races so far this year has been won by the Pole Center, has been won by an Xfinity regular. Daniel Suarez, Chris Buescher. Las Vegas, I can't quite remember who won at Las Vegas. Jones second, came third, Logano and Elliott Sadler. It appears that even though he was getting like a little bit of draft off the 6th, the 43 even got a good lap. Right now 6th. And how about Ryan Truex? 5th quickest for a guy who barely made it into the final round of qualifying. 58 seconds remain. Darrell Wallace Jr., Kenny Hang On, Eric Jones, Casey Kane, Logano, and Truex. And then it's Brian Scott, Elliott Sadler, Chris Buescher, Josh Berry, and Carl Edwards. James Buescher and Daniel Suarez, your top 12. And Carl Edwards, 3rd quickest in the 20 car. Edwards jumps up to 3rd quickest, and we have 30 seconds remaining. Logano ran his quickest lap of the day. 37.524. Right now, that is good enough for 4th quickest. Darrell Wallace Jr., Kenny Hang On, Casey Kane up to 2nd, Suarez up to 3rd. Sadler back up inside the top 5 and 5th. Edwards, who was 3rd, now he's down to 6th. 4, 3, 2, 1. That is it. And as you just probably saw right there, they have all changed once again. And right now we're being shown with Daniel Suarez on the pole. He was able to knock Darrell Wallace off the top spot just at the last possible second. He's now the quickest, and he will win the pole. The thing with the game is, I try to stop it at the full 5 minutes, but it adds another extra 30 seconds, which kind of makes it hard, so probably try to look at something to make that a little bit easier. But yeah, Daniel Suarez is actually on the pole after knocking Darrell Wallace at the very last second, and Wallace is not even on the front row. Casey Kane up to 2nd right at the very last moment. Darrell Wallace. How about the run by Elliott Sadler in the 43? And Eric Jones inside the top 5. Carl Edwards' first start of the year, he'll be 6th. Joey Logano, Brian Scott, Josh Berry, and Ryan Truex. And then the 2 Buescher cousins, Chris Buescher and James Buescher, will round out the field, round out your top 12. Next up on this channel will be the race here from Fontana. When you see this qualifying, when you see the race up on YouTube, the JaffaClots.com 300, the qualifying results from the Cup Series will already be on the website, so you can go ahead and check out the qualifying results on the website for the Cup Series once the Xfinity race is on the website, or is on YouTube. So be on the lookout for that. Daniel Suarez, your pole center. Casey Kane to his outside. We'll see you for race day here from Fontana, California. Yada Club Speedway. Goodbye, everyone.